You won. You became everything they told you to be. Strong, independent, successful. You built the life. You paid the price. You even became the man you once dreamed of marrying. But here's the uncomfortable truth no one talks about. The stronger you became, the lonelier it got. This video isn't a cheap critique of feminism, and it's not a soft fairy tale about just opening your heart. This is a reality check and a mirror, because we've entered a rare, unpredictable era in human history, an era where, for the first time in modern civilization, women are stronger than men, emotionally, financially, socially, even intellectually. And that's not a complaint. That's a fact. From Moscow to Manhattan, from Paris to Sao Paulo, I see the same thing. Women rising, women leading, women carrying everything and everyone. It's powerful, it's beautiful, but it's also exhausting. And when it comes to love, it's a paradox, because most women, even now, still want a man they can look up to, someone stronger. But finding a man stronger than you has become a rare exception, not the norm. So what happens when your success becomes the very reason for your isolation? Let's go deep into it. No fluff, no blame, no fantasy, just truth. This is She Needs to Har This. And this is the unspoken reason why so many successful women feel completely alone. You became the man you wanted to marry. Now what? Over the last 50 years, women have won the war for freedom. And that's not an exaggeration. It's a civilizational shift. Today, women control more wealth, education, and influence than ever before in history. They lead companies. They raise children on their own. They own property, businesses, passports, and choices. They decide when or if to marry, when or if to give birth. They dominate in schools, outperform men in universities, and explode in online entrepreneurship. They're the backbone of modern therapy, coaching, wellness, branding, content creation, personal development. They're the faces of movements, voices of activism, and managers of entire emotional ecosystems, both at home and in society. It's spectacular, it's powerful, it's earned. But here's the hard truth. Every revolution has a cost, and this one is no exception. Because with this rise in strength came a reversal of polarity. In a world where women have stepped into masculine roles, men have either collapsed or stepped back, some from confusion, some from fear, some because no one showed them how to rise with women, only how to compete, resist, or disappear. So now we're here, an entire generation of strong, capable, high-achieving women looking around and realizing there are fewer and fewer men they can genuinely admire. And not because women have become too much, but because men have not caught up. And so a deep internal conflict begins. The same qualities that built her success, control, drive, autonomy, make it harder for her to experience love in the way her nervous system craves it. She wants to be soft, but she doesn't trust anyone enough to let go. She wants to be held, but she's used to holding everything herself. And here's the paradox that breaks so many powerful women inside. You can't be the general and expect to be carried like a princess. Not because you don't deserve it, but because polarity doesn't work that way. And unless we talk about this, the loneliness will keep growing, silently, but globally. Let's talk biology, not beliefs, not trends, not Twitter feminism. Biology. For thousands of years, women have been wired, not just socially, but neurologically, to seek a partner who is stronger, more capable, more resourceful than they are. It's not vanity. It's not patriarchy. It's hypergamy, the evolutionary drive to mate upward. And here's the brutal catch. The more a woman levels up, the smaller the pool of men above her becomes. Today's woman might earn 6 figures, run a business, speak 3 languages. She's emotionally intelligent, trauma-aware, well-traveled, and self-actualized. She reads Jung. She quotes Esther Perel. She meditates and strength trains. And still, she lies awake at night wondering, where is the man I can actually respect? Because the truth is, in 2025, the average man is falling behind, fast, emotionally immature, financially stagnant, socially withdrawn, spiritually lost, physically passive. We now have a generation of women who have grown and a generation of men who have frozen. And this creates a psychological crisis no one wants to name. Strong women still crave stronger men, but strong men have become nearly extinct. So what happens? Some women settle, then resent. Some lower their standards, then feel dead inside. Some go it alone, then cry in silence. Some date down, then lose attraction. Some perform hyper-independence, while their nervous system screams for surrender. None of it feels right. None of it satisfies. Because no matter how much society shifts, the feminine still seeks masculine containment, not domination, but presence, strength, vision, edge. And when that's not available, the feminine suffers. Hypergamy isn't toxic, it's truth. But in a reversed world, it becomes a burden. And the stronger you become, the lonelier that burden can feel. She says she's fine. She says she loves her freedom. She says she doesn't need anyone. And for the most part, she's right. But when the lights go out and the phone stops buzzing, a different truth whispers through her nervous system. I'm tired of carrying it all. Modern independence gave women everything: careers, choices, autonomy. But it also came with an invisible tax: constant self-regulation, constant responsibility, constant emotional self-sufficiency. And for many women, that "I've got this" energy isn't empowerment anymore. It's armor. She learned to be strong because she had to. She learned to self-soothe because no one else could hold her pain. She learned to control because trusting others led to disappointment. So now she builds empires. She coaches others. She's the emotionally mature one in every relationship. And yet, she secretly longs for someone who could simply say, "You don't have to do it alone anymore." But here's the paradox. The more independent she becomes, the less likely she is to meet someone who makes her feel safe enough to surrender. Because let's be honest, most men don't know how to hold a woman who doesn't need them, but still wants to be held. So she stays in control. She pretends she's happy. She posts about loving herself first, while suppressing the ache for intimacy. And slowly, that ache turns into numbness. Not because she's broken, but because she's exhausted. Independence was supposed to feel like liberation. But for many strong women, it now feels like isolation with good branding. You're so strong, they say. But strength was never the goal. Connection was. And until she feels safe enough to take the mask off, she'll keep pretending it fits. There's a truth modern culture refuses to say out loud. Masculine energy doesn't fall in love with masculine energy. And yet, that's exactly what most strong relationships today have become. Two people fighting for control, leadership, emotional dominance. It's not compatibility. It's a cold war with cuddles in between. Because real intimacy doesn't happen without polarity, that natural dance between masculine and feminine energy, between stillness and movement, structure and emotion, penetration and surrender. But here's the trap. Modern women are told to always be empowered, bossed up, in control. Never let your guard down, never need, never yield. And while that works wonders in business, it often kills romantic polarity. You can't lead every room and still expect to melt in someone's arms. Let's make it real. Picture a woman named Elise. She's a lawyer, 35, confident, sharp, respected. She runs a team of 20. She makes 6 figures. She travels solo. But when she's on a date, she can't turn it off. She interviews. She judges. She tests. She doesn't flirt. She screens. And then she wonders why men say they feel not needed, not wanted, not enough. Not because they're weak, but because there's no space left for them to be strong. Power is not the enemy, but constant control is. As Carl Jung once wrote, "Where love reigns, there is no will to power. And where power predominates, their love is lacking." Love requires risk. It requires trust, vulnerability, and polarity. You don't have to give up your strength, but if you want real connection, you may need to choose where that strength shows up. Because if you dominate everywhere, there's no room for anyone to step in and hold you. And that's the modern tragedy. Women have become everything, except the one thing that allows love to land: receptive. Until she learns to switch off the engine, she'll keep wondering why she's the driver, but no one's riding with her. There's another path, one that doesn't ask you to shrink, one that doesn't punish you for being strong, but also doesn't leave you starving for softness. It's the path of duality. What if the goal was never to be just feminine or masculine, but to master the art of switching between them? What if your highest strength wasn't in holding one identity tightly, but in your fluidity, your ability to shift, move, adapt without losing your center? Because true feminine power isn't just about being soft, and masculine energy isn't just about being hard. It's about knowing when to lead and when to lean, when to be fire and when to be water. In public, you can be the strategist. In business, the closer. In your career, the visionary. But in love, you can choose softness, not because you're weak, but because you're powerful enough to surrender without fear. That's not regression. That's emotional intelligence. That's mastery. And yes, it takes practice, because when you've lived in fight mode for years, when you've built your identity on control, letting go can feel like death. But it's not death. It's return. Return to the version of you that doesn't have to earn love by performing, that doesn't have to hold everything alone, that doesn't have to scan every moment for threat or failure. Duality isn't confusion, it's depth. And depth is what turns attraction into intimacy, and intimacy into devotion. Not every woman will get this. Not every woman wants to. But those who do, those who learn to move between their edges, unlock a level of connection that most people will never taste. They stop fighting the polarity, and instead, they learn to dance with it. We are living through a global shift no one fully prepared us for. The rise of the strong woman is one of the most profound revolutions in modern history. But with every revolution comes new terrain, new rules, new consequences. Too many women are still operating on outdated maps, trying to build modern lives with ancient blueprints, or worse, with Instagram fantasies that ignore both biology and psychology. If you don't update your inner operating system, the world will feel like it's punishing you. But it's not punishing you. It's simply moving on. And the women who adapt, who learn the art of duality, who stop fighting polarity, who integrate power and softness, are the ones who will not only succeed, but also love deeply, fully, without betrayal of self, because the goal was never to be a man, and it was never to be less of a woman. The goal is to be whole, rooted, clear, awake. Loneliness isn't your destiny, but waking up, That's your responsibility. Now tell me this, have you ever felt like your strength has become your cage? Like the very independence you fought for now keeps people at a distance? Drop your truth in the comments. I read them all. This is not a place for performance. This is a place for real women in a real world, facing real dilemmas. This is She Needs to Hear This. 100 videos. 100 truths modern women were never told. Hit that subscribe button. Share this with the strongest woman you know, because even the strong need to feel seen.